Welcome to Cleve Loveland and the Lone Arranger radio show. My name is Bruce Woodburn, and I'm the Lone Arranger. Alongside Cleve Loveland at Loveland Properties, he's been selling real estate in Central Florida for over 25 years, the longest-running radio show in the history of radio, and an amazing team of professional real estate agents that will guide you through the real estate transaction. And for my team and I here at Cross Country Mortgage, our job is to make sure you always get the best financing that's available, the very best, and not compromise service. Isn't it funny how people think they can get the best in price, but then they don't realize how bad service is? Why don't we give them both? Why don't we give them great service and great rates?
Well, you can do that. And that's it's the biggest frustration I hear from people is why I developed my real estate team in from my first year in real estate. My mom brought me in. I was her retirement plan. She always had a team. She'd been a broker with 20 agents running around. It's like herding cats. We decided that wasn't the way to go. We just developed our team. So I've got a transaction coordinator. I've got a listing manager. I've got a receptionist.
You have a receptionist?
A receptionist to answer the phone and get in touch with people. Yep. And so I can sell in my office. We sell more, like I say, I talk about it in my commercials. We sell more homes in a month than most agents sell in a year just by working hard. When I interview people and I tell realtors most people get into real estate for the freedom. And I tell them in our office, we have a meeting every morning. We have a meeting every morning at 8:45 a.m. to go over what's happening with everything. And you need to be here 4 days a week, and you better be working 3 weekends out of 4. And if you don't sell 3 homes a month, I'm going to have to, seriously, you'll be on probation. Right. They look at me like I'm crazy. And they never do anything. So they don't work for me. So we are serious about helping people sell real estate, buy real estate, and managing their investments, because I think this leads me into what I was going to talk about, Bruce, real estate planning.
Right.
And this is where, we talk about leapfrog and buying one house and then renting it and then buying your next primary rent and then do that 3 or 4 times. You're going to have $1 million in real estate in 10 years. And it will be, and then in 15 years or so, you start paying it off.
You can have 5 properties all free and clear between 20 and 22 years, which would put about $2.5 to $3 million in equity in your bank pocket.
And I also help people, though, as we get up in their years and they're thinking about the legacy and leaving that to other people. And I'm more in favor of when you get into your 70s and 80s, I can manage it for you where it's pretty much maintenance free. We're doing everything for you. But at a certain point, you might want to move that into money and to give that money to your financial planner. I help people with that.
Or you can let your children inherit your wealth and have a perpetual income.
Depends on your children. You want to have a fight, though, have 4 rental properties and 5 kids.
Well, then hire a property manager and let them all live off. But can you imagine if you owned 5 to 10 properties? Listen, 5 properties alone will make you $15,000 to $20,000 a month in income if they're free and clear. So if you follow my Leapfrog program, I'll show you how to get them all free and clear. Own 5 properties, make $15,000 to $20,000 a month. Then you can show your children how to do that. Then they can get another 5 properties. Then you got 10 properties coming in. You're making $30,000, $40,000 a month in income.
But I like to be that person that people can run these scenarios past. And I've got a gentleman who his mom left him. His family started in the 1950s buying small duplexes, triplexes, and quads. And now he's managing them, but he's got weekly tenants, which is just horrible.
Ooh.
He's got evictions. He's got police at the property all the
time.
They're
good when they're good, and they're bad when
they
they're
are.
bad.
He makes a little more money he makes a little more rent, like on his investment, but the maintenance is too much. And he wants to retire. He wants to go fishing. So we're 1031 exchanging those properties
good idea.
over to single-family homes. I'm exchanging 50 different rent checks he's got to collect. We're going to end up with about 7 or 8 single-family homes, all paid for.
Right.
All paid for. And peeling
off
off
some money. If you don't know what a 1031 exchange is, we can help you with that. All you got to do is call Cleve at 407-352-8118 or call Bruce Woodburn, Cross Country Mortgage, the Lone Arranger, at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144. Or visit my website. Apply online at webringyouhome.com. You know what else, Cleve? We're on the Spotify. So if you want to hear our podcast on Spotify, you can tune into Spotify, iHeartRadio podcast, our YouTube channel. All of it. If you want to see this show after we've finished producing it, it'll be on our YouTube channel. Go to Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Arranger. and you'll find me on the YouTube channel. It's funny because you sent somebody to me and they did a search for the Lone Ranger.
Like you said, I think he's having a little trouble Googling you, and he came up with a company called Lone Ranger,
right,
in Texas, and he came up with a Steve Ranger in Tampa.
Well,
and I'm like,
and here's the thing: I've used the Lone Ranger as my tag for 30 years.
Yep.
When I first had my very first radio show, I used the Lone Ranger. I could not trademark it. I have hired attorneys to trademark it, but the federal government tells me that it is not a name. It is what you do. You arrange loans, so they wouldn't trademark it for me. So there are other people. There's a guy in Canada that uses it. There's a guy in California.
You might have to change your name, like Prince did.
Well,
to the artist formerly known as, you could be the Bruce formerly, or what would that be, the Lone Ranger formerly known as Bruce Woodburn?
I could be that. That could be. Well, if you look up the Lone Ranger Orlando, then I can trademark that. But it's very difficult to trademark. Anyway,
they can find you. They can find you.
I'm easy to find.
We appreciate all of the people listening. I have people, Bruce, that have been listening for 10, 15 years, and they call me, hey, I'm ready to sell. Right. They remember when my mom was on the show with me 30 years ago.
Right.
So it's kind of funny because people thought, every once in a while, people thought that was my wife. I'm like, no, that's just a blurry camera lens. That's not my wife. That's my mom. She brought me in this business as a retirement plan, but that's why I like our wealth seminar. It gives people a plan to build some real wealth and have a way out, because it's not taught in school. It's not
don't pay for one of these expensive weekend seminars to do that, you guys. We're going to share all of our experiences with you, good, bad, and ugly, so that you can build wealth in real estate.
I want to ask you real quick. I mean, things have been kind of choppy in the stock market. Where are we at? I got a client buying a house at $1.6 million, and you're doing the loan, and he's going to have a big chunk down. And that's a jumbo loan. I think he's getting a loan up around $800,000 or $900,000. What's our rate at on something like that? About
2 3/4 for good credit.
What?
On a 30-year fixed?
That's incredible.
Yeah, you can get 2 3/4% on a 30-year fixed. Now, when I tell you that on the air, it's not permissible for me to give rates without APRs. So I'm just going to tell you that when I do this out loud on the air, it's a range. It's an estimate. That's not a quote.
Well, that's why you and I have jobs.
Then I have to disclose certain things. So if every individual out there is different, so lenders have to be careful on throwing a rate out as a bait and switch. So I have no desire.
But that's why you and I have jobs. We interpret everybody's personal mortgage market. What's your income? What's your credit? What's on? Where's this money coming from? How much does mom and dad both make? What about debts?
Debt ratio.
I help people with their real estate problems. I help them with their real estate dreams and solving those, getting them to a certain solution. Because you can't just look it up on the interweb and say, okay, I think my house is worth this. Let's just put the sign out. It'll sell tomorrow. Doesn't work that way. They want you to believe it will, and then they want you to click the button, and they'll make you an offer for about 70% of what you're really worth.
Yep, don't do that. Don't fall for these fancy commercials, you guys. These hedge funds are spending billions, probably billions. Like, there's a couple of companies I'm hearing, they're on every station for every break. So where do you think that money's coming from? Paying you full price for your property? Yeah. Do you think that's what they're doing?
What's your crystal ball say for the rest of the year as far as interest rates? I mean, when the rates dropped last year, beginning of COVID, they plummeted down into the 2s. They've hovered around the 3s for almost the past 12 months. What do you think for the next 3 or 4 months?
I'll tell you what my crystal ball says, because there is no crystal ball, but I'm going to tell you what Bruce Woodburn's predictions are. So first of all, you have some rocky stuff going on in the government with the Fed. The Fed had some monetary policy meetings earlier last week, midweek last week. So we see that things can fluctuate by about anywhere from 0 to 25 basis points on the bond market per day. But I don't think that we're going to see interest rates skyrocket this year. I think that we're going to see some ups, we're going to see some downs, but I don't see that interest rates are going to skyrocket anytime in the near future, because inflation is high and the Fed's got to keep things under check. On the other hand, be aware of tapering, because you hear tapering and you guys don't maybe know what tapering means. The federal government is the only reason we have low rates. Don't think it's the economy.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with the economy.
Yep.
Okay, the reason our rates are low is because the federal government is buying mortgage-backed securities, and they were buying $10 billion per month in mortgage-backed securities, and they had to get us out of the recession in 2010, right? 2008, 2009.
And they never stopped?
So they never stopped, but they what they've done now is they've done what they call it tapering, is they're tapering back.
They're buying less?
They're buying less. So they keep announcing that they're gonna get to a point where they're not buying any.
Which is the way it should be.
Well, it should be free. The free market, institutional money should be buying mortgage-backed securities, not the federal government. But right now, you have a window. But the Fed's threatening to pull back on that. They've already gone from $10 billion to $4.6 billion in purchasing mortgage-backed securities. But once they get to $1 billion or zero, what do you think is going to happen to rates then? Because when Merrill Lynch wants to buy mortgage-backed securities, or your big insurance companies, or institutional money, or foreign investors, they're not going to do it for 2.75%.
Yeah.
They want to make 6%.
Yeah.
So your rate will be 7.5% or 8%, so they can make their yields on that.
Yeah.
So don't think that this is an everlasting thing. Buy a home now. Take advantage. Like you say, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. Don't wait around. When you have an opportunity, what are you going to wait around and go, well, I don't really like 3%. I want 2.5%. Don't be greedy.
Yeah.
You're going to get in trouble with that. Buy now, refi now.
And somebody out there, you were talking about how like 80% of the people out there need to refi and haven't.
81%
So if their
qualify.
rates anywhere north of 4%, they should probably call you.
Absolutely.
4% or more.
4% or a balloon note or an adjustable rate, or here's another thing that I'm finding a lot of folks doing. Right now, you guys have gotten a little bit slack because of COVID and you went out and spent too much money. Okay, you spent a lot of money. It's behind you, but your credit cards are a little maxed out. You're driving an expensive car. So what I'm doing right now is taking my clients' all debt, refinancing it, wiping out all debt, taking that same amount that you're used to paying toward your mortgage and your consumer debt. Now you have no consumer debt and you apply it all to the mortgage, and I show you how to have your house free and clear. And a lot of times it's 7, 8, 9 years, Cleve, that you're debt free.
Well, they kind of want you. I mean, financing is so easy. It's like when you refinanced me about a year ago, and actually almost a year and a half now. And it's funny, when I apply, it's almost like all of a sudden I start getting all these solicitations in the mail, or they know I've got equity in my property, and I get all these solicitations, postcards saying, we can make your payment $200 less.
Sure.
But I'm in my 50s.
Call me,
paid off soon.
Get the right opinion. That's what I say.
How much time we got?
We got about 2 minutes left.
I want one note here I want to talk about. I'm going to let you have the last segment of the show. I've got to run. I've got multiple offers on a property. I've also got to get a buyer into a property this afternoon because it just popped up and it's in the neighborhood they want. So we're running out to make sure we get an offer written on that. But the one thing I see articles about how to know when is the real estate market changing. And that's why we watch the numbers every week on this show. What's the inventory? That tells us exactly what's going on. And that's why we know there's not a bubble coming. That's why we know this market is strong. I'd say it's a 2-alarm fire now, probably going down to a 1-alarm fire. It was blazing hot beginning of the year. The demand was so outrageous. But people are smart. They're not going to way overpay on a house. They know them or their parents got burned in the bubble 12 years ago. So, but what I will do for you at Loveland Properties, when I come see you, I want to find out about what you want done and what's your real estate dream. The bigger house, the bigger yard, the smaller house, the smaller yard, the brand new home, the home in the gated community, the home on the lake, the home on the golf course. Whatever you want, that's what we do at Loveland Properties. 407-352-8118. And remember, the 3 most important things in real estate, besides location, 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 is love land, love land, love land.
Yep. Or if you have questions for Bruce Woodburn, Cross Country Mortgage, I'm always here to help guide you in the right direction for a purchase or refinance transaction. All you have to do is go to my website at webringyouhome.com or call me. My personal number is 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144. You can text that number. You can call that number. I return phone calls on Monday. My team's here to cater to you while I'll be out of town for a little bit, but I'll be back in action, knocking it out of the ballpark, helping you save money. And don't forget to register for Cleve and I's Wealth Building Seminar, our Leapfrog program, on October the 20th at 6 p.m. go to WeBringYouHome.com. I'll be back in 5 minutes with more Cleve Loveland and the Lone Arranger Radio Show.